Well, hello there, how you doing? Hope you're doing okay, and if you're brand new to my channel, I talk about autism, being autistic from my own experiences as an autistic person, and in today's video, myself and Sez from Sez Francis, who is another autistic YouTuber, we're going to be talking about how businesses can make their businesses, their establishments, more autism friendly. We're going to be talking about how customers can have a better experience at these establishments, but also how to improve the working life of autistic employees at these establishments. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Sez, who's going to talk about her work experience. So Sez, take it away.
Hi everyone, my name is Sez Francis and I am an autistic and epileptic vlogger. And before I do this video, I want to say a big massive thank you to Andy for allowing me to take part. I'm going to be talking about my experiences in employment, but I never really actually found paid work. I'm currently a volunteer and it is not really a paid sort of things, but I love my volunteering jobs. All of my volunteering jobs I have so far are working with children. So I am a Brownie Girl Guide leader, I am a member of the education centre in the cathedral, I get to interact with the children whilst they're on school trips, and I am a volunteer at my local library. According to figures from charity organisations like the National Autistic Society, only 16% of the autistic individuals in the UK are in full-time employment, and by the sound of that, 16% is really low, and basically that's not good enough. So I feel that more needs to be done.
That's great, Sez, and actually just to add my own experience into this, I have been an admin for the last 3 years, you know, in an office environment, so I know the corporate world quite well in terms of the public and private sector. I do have some customer service experience behind me as well, so I personally feel I have well-rounded experiences in the world of work, as well as Sez with her voluntary work. So I feel like we are both able to help businesses make their businesses more autism friendly. So Sez, what is your first tip if businesses do want to be autism friendly?
And my first tip is to make sure that autistic individuals have sensory breaks. And I'm not really a person who needs them, but there are some people who do, especially if a person gets too overwhelmed. And if there are situations where they feel stressed and they can't really handle a few of these situations, then it's always important just to allow employees just to take a breather and probably have a drink of water, something to eat, or maybe just go into another room, and like a quiet room, and allowing them to spend time as they want so they can calm down until they get ready to get back to work again. That will be absolutely amazing.
My first tip to make businesses more autism friendly is really about the sensory side of things. So turn the lights down, turn the music off. And the reason dimming the lights down, turn the music off would make a business more autism friendly is because these variables can be overstimulating for someone on the autism spectrum. Some autistic people do have sensitivities when it comes to sensory issues such as light, such as sound. Because of these sensory issues, some autistic people avoid these establishments where the lights are just really bright, they're really fluorescent in your face, and when the music is just blaring, you know, it's very disorientating, all of these different sensory experiences or stimuli. So by turning down the lights, turning off the music, you are in essence creating a much more calmer environment for your customers, and if they are on the autism spectrum, they will be able to actually go into your stores and be able to experience what your store or what your establishment offers. And because you're creating a calmer environment by removing certain stimuli, this is actually really good for autistic employees who do also have these sensitivities as well. So through this, you're not just helping autistic customers by removing the stimulus, you are also helping autistic employees who may have their own difficulties in this area. And because you're removing the stimulus, autistic employees may be able to concentrate a lot more and be able to handle the day-to-day tasks that they have to do. So therefore it increases productivity, and I just feel generally when it comes to making the businesses autism friendly, this is a very practical but minute change that a business can introduce to make their business more autism friendly.
My second tip is to make areas more autistic friendly, and I probably won't go into detail a lot because I've explained that already in my last tip, but autism friendly areas have increased over the amount of time, and one of the main reasons is that people are starting to recognize that not all people on the autistic spectrum can cope in different environments, and sometimes having autism friendly areas can help.
My next tip is using technology. Now, technology over the last few years or so has really become more and more of a thing when it comes to establishments such as supermarkets. For this example, because of technology, we have self-service checkouts, and the use of technology doesn't just have benefits for everyone, it does have benefits for autistic people because it reduces that interaction with staff. Because for me personally, when I've gone shopping and things, I find it incredibly stressful talking to staff. I always have to ask someone else to do it for me because it's that anxiety of I don't want to say something silly or I don't want to seem incompetent, but also because of technology, there's less demands on staff. So there's less people behind tills getting people through as quickly as possible because technology is there, such as self-service checkouts, for example. They're able to do it themselves, which just speeds up the process. But also because of technology as well, especially if there are children on the spectrum as well, it gives them something to do. Because supermarkets have handheld scanners, you can literally give your child a handheld scanner and they can actually be involved in the process of shopping, which obviously gives them a distraction, it gives them a purpose, but it also helps parents as well because it gives their child a purpose, like I say, but also they're able to do the thing that they've gone into that store for. So I feel that technology is a massive thing that businesses could implement a lot more.
Top tip number 3, autism training for staff, and this is a really big tip because everyone is talking about it at the moment within the autistic community, because having trained staff who are trained to help individuals with autism will be absolutely wonderful. But I think for me what will make it even more wonderful is that if the trained staff have experiences with autism.
My next tip is all to do with routine. Now, on my channel I've talked about my obsession with routines and just the need to have a routine or general idea of what I'm doing. And really, for autistic employees, giving them a routine of sort of what they're going to do during the course of a day, especially when they start as well, can make that transition from first day, first week, first month a lot smoother. Because by giving a autistic employee a routine or some structure to their day, it just reduces that anxiety. I know for myself, when I was working in the public sector, when I disclosed my autism to this employer, it really helped because they were able to structure my day, especially for the first couple of weeks. And also because my days were a little bit more structured, it just preempted me and gave me knowledge before I jumped into the deep end. So it might be the case like me where you give them a timetable for the first 2 weeks or so just to introduce them into the role, introduce them to the team, and make them feel integrated in that team for them to feel a part of the team, if that makes sense. So I really feel by talking to an autistic employee about what their needs are in terms of structure, in terms of maybe having a routine in place, it can really be beneficial for them.
Tip number 4, inclusion for adults. And this is something that I have had experiences with in all of my volunteering jobs. And being included is actually a really wonderful feeling to have, because I've had a little bit of times in the past where I felt I wasn't included in anything before I started volunteering, and I know that being excluded isn't really that fun. On the contrary, it can make someone really upset, and I know I have been through that. But to allow people to accept adults and just to work with them, cooperate with them, and to help adults understand if they are stuck on anything. This is a really big deal because it will help individuals on the spectrum build up their confidence, and it will help them to understand a bit more about what they need to achieve and how they can interact with their employers and colleagues. Will make things really easy for the individual.
And my next tip is one of the most important tips, I think, when it comes to making businesses autism friendly. Communicate with us. Communicate with autistic people, communicate with your autistic employees, your autistic customers, you know, have an open dialogue with the community, because it just shows a willingness to be inclusive. But also as well, if you've got ideas and you present those ideas to people in the community, you know, they may give you suggestions on how to improve on those ideas. When I see businesses really caring and, you know, asking the community, you know, what can we do to help you for you to enjoy what we have, it's a really fantastic thing. And I think people in the community should really respect businesses that do this, you know, really put the effort in and try. But also by talking to people in the community, talking to autistic people, you know, you're obviously going to learn a lot about their life experiences, their own experiences with establishments, whether it's shopping, whether it's going to a supermarket, whatever the case may be. You know, you get to understand the condition a bit more by showing you want to make a difference for not only the customer experience, the autistic customer experience, but also to improve the life of autistic employees. You know, it just is a nice thing, and it's just something that I personally really respect.
Tip number 5, communication, and communicate with your autistic employers. Again, this is something I experienced. Communication is absolutely vital when it comes to things that people won't understand, or if there's something that they just need help with, or maybe something that if an individual has questions about, if they're not too sure on anything. This is really important. Communication for me helped me to understand about what I should do, what my purpose in my roles are, and how can I develop my work skills and life skills as well. Because if you are going into work skills is not just like working in the environment and you're building up your confidence, but it also builds up your life skills, and these are the things that will help adults to be more confident outside the work environment. And with me, working with children has helped me to understand the children within my own family, because I am an auntie and sometimes I always find it a bit tricky to talk to my nephews and my niece. But interacting with children has given me confidence just to interact with everyone in my family, and for me that is a complete blessing. I want to say a massive thank you to Andy once again for allowing me to be part of this series, and I really cannot wait to see how it develops. So until then guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and always remember to keep on dreaming and never stop believing. See you very soon. Bye!
No, thank you, Sez. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate you sharing your experiences with everyone. Thank you so much. If you want to see more of Sez, click that button right there, or there's a link in the description box to her channel. Or if you want to see more of my videos, I recommend that video up there, which is about quiet hours. It'll be down below as well if you want to check that out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to see more videos like this. But for now, stay you, stay indie. I hope you have a great day, and hope to see you next time.